Hello, today's video is about the a6300 internal microphone, preamp, auto gain, whatever your external output, whatever you want to call it. One thing that I noticed is that the audio is much better almost however you record it. So I'm now recording it in the worst way possible. Although I am recording it on an external recorder, the Atmos recorder, to be able to let you listen later on to how it sounds if I record it externally. But it already sounds a lot better than the a6000, even its external mic. And one way you can hear this is how they implemented the auto gain. So I'm a bit soft now, but there's almost no noise, even if I'm quiet. This room is quite well isolated. It's my home theater, and I regularly have movies up to, well, if you know, movies can be quite loud. So all the rooms and the walls have been isolated. So it's very quiet. So almost no noise, except of the noise that I'm making. So what I wanted to let you hear is what happens. So now you hear me clicking. If you, I've now put it on 16. If I turn it up to about 25, you'll hear quite aggressively the noise coming in. If I'm talking, it even says quite badly, but if I'm quiet, and I put it on 25 for a reason, because to me it sounds about the same level as on the a6000. Again, I'm not using the external mic input, but I'm using the internal one. Now, one thing which is confusing a bit, I think the internal and an external mic basically use the same level control. Although there is a bug in there that if you use, or maybe it's not a bug, I'm not sure, but if you use the hot shoe connector to hook up a microphone, you can't set the levels anymore, which is kind of weird. But it seems that the internal and the external mic input use both this gain control. But if you use an external one, then it allows you to put a much lower level. So I would say, let me put it back into the range where you're done at, which I'm quite soft. About have to yell now. This is about 8, which seems to be the maximum if you're using an external mic. So the auto gain now becomes much less aggressive. So let's assume that this is a worst case scenario, and now hook up an external mic. So what I will do, just to compare again, so this is the a6300 on its internal mic. So here we are on the a6000. You can kind of hear what the auto gain does. It can't find any audio, so it's gaining a lot, and the noise levels are even worse than I remember. It's so bad that I'm always thinking that I'm making a mistake. Now let me quickly in the menu turn wind noise reduction on, because that helps a bit. Sorry, that helps a bit. But you can hear it's not very good. So let me hook up an external mic, although this sounds a bit weird, but we can do that by attaching the external mic on top of the hot shoe and see what happens. Okay, you can hear that the audio changes. Let me make the mic a bit more directional. But there you hear the auto gain sort of kicking in again. Okay, there it is. And again, I'm now talking from the back of the camera, which is not normal, of course. But in this case, it's a good comparison or a good thing to play around with. So that's the external mic. Well, so external mic Sony into the hot shoe. External mic into the Sony hot shoe. Sony a6000. So this is his external mic, $16 from Sony, attached to the a6300 on his mic input. And now the auto gain, I can probably pull it all the way back to 0, because on 0 it doesn't work anymore. But my gut feeling is for most mics you want to be about 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the auto gain doesn't do much, because if I'm quiet, again almost no noise, which is a massive improvement in my opinion. So both the internal mic and external mics, and again this is quite a cheap one. So the next one I will show you is two wireless solutions. One I think has a bad rap. I'm not sure if it's correct that it has a bad rap, but it's the smallest one. So if you really want to have a small portable solution, that's the one to go for. So here we are again, and this is our Sony wireless solution. I don't think they make them anymore. And one of the reasons is they internally have the same sort of auto gain. So if I shut up, you will hear it come in. Although it's an interesting combination. Let me show you this one. So I'm now taking it off, because I do think it's an interesting product, because it's extremely small. So it's kind of a good solution if you really want to have a small external lav thingy, because it's much smaller than the Rode, which I'm going to show next. So they come in two of these plugs. Both Canon and Sony sells them for about $200. Now if you use noise reduction, so a Final Cut Pro or something, it's not too bad. So next go to the Rode mic. So this is the Rode Link wireless film kit connected to the a6300 external mic input. The level is now at 5, and yeah, let me shut up again and you can hear if it's clean. Well, as you can hear, it's pretty clean. The level on the mic is now about 5. Let's turn it up to see if we can get it, I would almost say, noisier. So if I go to 16, you can see that the levels are quite bad, and you will indeed hear the auto gain sort of kick in. But it's of course unnecessary to do that. So you can hear it's very clean. At least I think so. Yeah, let me now move over to the a6000s. So back on the a6000, this is probably the weirdest solution, but it does give you quite loud audio, and that's kind of overblowing the auto gain system. So what I'm now doing is putting the Rode wireless mic into the hot shoe mic of the a6000, the one that I showed before, so the Sony one with the weird flip out thingies. So this is probably the best way if you want to do external recording, but you want to directly record it into the a6000. So it is possible, but you can already hear that the quality is not as good. And if I am quiet, you hear the auto gain pick up again. Of course, the good news is that you let me do one more, and this is in Final Cut Pro. I will remove the noise. So this is without the noise reduction. And I will do this part of the video with noise reduction. So noise reduction on the audio on the a6000, which is not necessary on the a6300, in Final Cut Pro over this part of the video. So let's see how quiet it got. Thank you.